Now at 11 on Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45.
We just want it to be a safe time for all those that are coming into the city of Greensboro.
A busy weekend for Greensboro police as NCA&T homecoming kicks off. Plus,
more than 100,000 people are coming to Lexington this weekend to get a piece of this. I'm Amara Mokwe, and coming up, find out all you need to know about this year's barbecue festival.
And the late Stuart Scott is inducted into the North Carolina Journalism Hall of Fame, the touching tributes given during that ceremony.
You're watching Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Sharon Stone. We will have details on those stories coming right up. First at 11, meteorologist Doug Lindsay is here with the first check of your weather on the One's forecast. And Doug, today was so nice, but really it's been a nice stretch for us here.
It has been a nice stretch. It has been quite warm for this time of the year. In fact, we made it to 80 degrees for our high temperature today, but with a lot of sunshine, low humidity, very pleasant fall day. Now it's cooling off after sunset, as we would expect. The Tower Cam view all lit up nicely, 63 degrees. Still just, light jacket or sweater weather, not bad at all. Now there's a cold front out to the west of us that's trying to head our way, and there's another cold front to the north of us that's about to squeeze through as a little backdoor front. And as that front pushes to the south of us, we'll find ourselves on the cooler side of things as we get into the start of our weekend, with high temperatures that will only be in the upper 60s versus today's lower 80s that most of us saw. And while we're getting to enjoy all of that, we got this going on. Hurricane Patricia, still a major Category 4 storm pounding the west coast of Mexico. All the details on Patricia and, of course, your local forecast coming up a little bit later on.
It's a busy weekend in the Piedmont Triad. Lexington invites people to take a bite of their famous barbecue, while North Carolina A&T State University celebrates homecoming. Our Kristen Drummond is live in downtown Greensboro with how police will keep the streets safe and the economic impact of these events. Kristen.
Well, Sharon.
Kristen for that live report. Apartment complexes are also getting ready for the city to swell with all that Aggie pride. Campus East Apartments emailed residents Monday to ask them to keep the number of guests down, and they posted signs throughout the week. The extra precautions, along with the security measures that are already in place, makes residents feel comfortable during this weekend.
I don't have to really worry about any troubles coming my way. I don't have to deal with the drama, the craziness. It's just everything's perfectly fine.
It makes me feel more comfortable because it's not like where you live somewhere and it doesn't have cameras and you don't know if you're walking to your car and someone's following you. It just makes you feel more safe and secure where you live.
Homecoming is expected to attract tens of thousands of visitors. Thousands flocked to Our Lady of Grace Church in Greensboro today to see the relics of Saint Maria Goretti, the youngest canonized saint in the Catholic Church. The 11-year-old girl died from stab wounds after an attempted rape in 1902, but used her last words to ask forgiveness for her attacker. The Greensboro visit is one of 40 stops across the U.S. on this pilgrimage of mercy. Crowds lined up to offer their own prayers up to the martyr.
It brings in the sense of togetherness for everybody, for peace in the world, because that's what we want, and we all want that, to come here and know that our faith is just so amazing and could bring all these people together to pray for our saint.
The relics of Saint Maria Goretti will be on display Saturday in Charlotte at St. Thomas Aquinas Church. It's a huge tradition that's been in one North Carolina city for more than 30 years. This time around, organizers are expecting it to be bigger and better than ever. Amara Mokwe shows us what's cooking at this year's Lexington Barbecue Festival.
Amara Mokwe, Time Warner Cable News.
The festival will also have entertainment, a car show, and other attractions. Organizers say you can download their mobile app to keep track of what's happening. Events kick off at 8:30 in the morning. To other news now. A federal trial over North Carolina's voter ID law is set for January. Today, a judge denied a motion to dismiss a challenge to the law. He agreed with attorneys with the NAACP. They said the lawsuit should move forward, even though the General Assembly made changes that allows voters without IDs to cast provisional ballots.
If we do not know how the law will be implemented, then it could very well be an impediment to some people.
The voter ID part of the lawsuit was separated from a July trial over 2013 changes to election law. Those changes eliminated same-day registration and out-of-precinct voting. The judge has yet to make a ruling in that trial. Former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee is ending his bid for the Democratic nomination for president. He made this announcement today to the Democratic National Committee. Chafee has struggled to raise money and gain traction against Democrats Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Former Virginia Senator Jim Webb also dropped out of the race earlier this week. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter expressed his condolences to family, friends, and fellow service members following the death of a soldier from Fort Bragg. Military officials revealed Master Sergeant Joshua Wheeler died. He was killed by enemy fire during a rescue mission that led to the release of about 70 hostages captured by ISIS. Carter commended Wheeler's part in the mission, calling him a true hero.
It wasn't part of the plan, but it was something that he did, and I'm immensely proud that he did that. I obviously we're very saddened that he lost his life.
Master Sergeant Wheeler was 39 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 4 boys. Wheeler deployed 11 times during his service. An investigation of a Black Hawk helicopter crash that killed 11 service members, including 7 Camp Lejeune Marines earlier this year, shows the pilots disobeyed orders. In June, the military said the crash was caused when the 2 Black Hawk pilots became disoriented in a thick fog during a nighttime training mission in March off the Florida coast. The full report revealed the pilots were not authorized to fly in those weather conditions, and others on the training mission failed to challenge the overconfidence of the lead pilot. Investigators said a second Black Hawk involved in that training mission turned back because of poor conditions.
I'm meteorologist Doug Lindsay. A warm finish to the work week, but as we head into the weekend, an approaching cold front brings us cooler temperatures and maybe even a little rain. Details coming up in your Weather on the Ones forecast.
Doug's back with your full Weather on the Ones. Really been a warm fall week this week.
Yeah, we've had a pretty nice stretch of weather for sure, but it never lasts this time of the year. We always get into cooler weather, and it's about to happen as we head into the weekend. There's a definite change on the way as we actually will kind of get back to where we ought to be for this time of the year, which is 68 for a high. We actually made it to 80 for a high. Tomorrow the forecast is for 68 degrees. So yes, it'll be a little bit of a shock to your system maybe, but it is exactly where we ought to be this time of the year. Right now, 63, pleasant evening out there, looking nice with the tower cam lens. A little breeze at 3 miles an hour out of the east, humidity at 78%. Out to the west of us, we've got us a little cold front that's coming our way. This is going to bring us a lot more cloud cover Sunday and possibly some of this rain too. But in the meantime, we've got a little backdoor front that's working its way on through from the north. That's going to push to the south of us tomorrow, and that gets us into the cooler air, where highs will be a good 10, 11, 12 degrees cooler than they were today. There'll be a few clouds around, but a rain-free day, still a pleasant fall day, just a little cooler than we're used to as of late. 52 for the overnight low. Then the high temperature tomorrow makes it up to only 68 with a southeasterly wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour. A partly cloudy sky, maybe a few more clouds later in the day. All right, let's spend some time in the tropics. Of course, it's all about Patricia. There's nothing going on in the Atlantic basin, so we're in good shape there. But you see all this cloud cover right here. There's actually some of that tropical moisture already working its way into the continental U.S. This is Patricia. What a storm. Made it up to 200-mile-an-hour sustained winds with this storm at one point. The strongest hurricane ever recorded in the Western Hemisphere. I mean, that's amazing. And we're talking about pressure that was at 879 millibars. Winds at 200 miles an hour. Now, when it was making landfall a little bit earlier this evening, the winds had settled down some to between 150 and 200 miles an hour. It was still an intense storm. The eye just to the north of Manzanillo. And I mentioned Manzanillo because, well, got a little video. One of the many videos that we've seen coming out of the internet from Mexico. This is Manzanillo from earlier in the day when this hurricane made landfall. And check this out. This is intense, folks. You know, I posted on Twitter a little while ago that I've heard from so many people, friends of mine, that go, oh, wouldn't it be cool to be in a hurricane? Folks, I got to tell you, I've been in some big-time hurricanes, including Charlie and Katrina, and this isn't cool. Rough times for sure. in Mexico with the landfall of this major history-making hurricane. But look at the winds now, down to 130 miles an hour. Not surprising that it is weakening now that it's working its way inland, and it will dump some huge amounts of rainfall in inland locations and possibly cause some flooding and mudslide problems. And we may see some of that tropical moisture impacting the south central U.S. by the end of the weekend into early next week with heavy downpours expected. Some spots could get a foot of rain in southeast Texas. We're not going to get anything like that, but we're cooler Saturday, cloudier Sunday, showers later Sunday, and a cool kind of a damp pattern as we move through next week. That's rain that we really need. And that's your weather on the Once forecast. Sharon, back to you.
All right, thank you, Doug. Tar Heel Nation pack the Dean Smith Center tonight. We'll take you to Late Night with Roy after the break.
Over the Raiders. And Sharon, I only have one question for you. I'll give you $1 right now if you can tell me what song that Fool Me One Time, Shame on You is from.
J. Cole, Where's My Money?
What? Look at you over there. Now I'm $1 less richer. Thank you very much. 2 weeks remaining in the regular season, Sharon. Let's keep this thing moving.
I'm going to hold you to that $1. Thank you, JB.
I know you are.
All right, we'll be right back with your Carolina Minute.